Welcome to the Idaho Business Podcast, the only Idaho podcast focused on providing profits for Idaho people. If you love our state and love small business, you are in the right place. We interview local legends, learn business, and have way too much fun doing it. You're listening to the Idaho Business Podcast with your friend, host, and all-around great guy and owner of New Clean Commercial Cleaning, Spencer Ward.
All right, everyone, welcome back. Make sure my microphone is on to the Idaho Business Podcast. We are here with none other than Sara Barnowski.
Hello.
Boise, Idaho gal. Thanks for being on the show with us.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Before we get into all the good stuff, I get to say that we are sponsored by Fresh Prep Meals. These guys do a phenomenal job at providing healthy alternatives for our busy lifestyle. These guys cook, they can help you stick to your micros and macros, and they will cook the good food, not just the salad or the chicken and rice that everyone hates. It's good enchiladas, it's good stuff, and they'll ship it to you, or they will have it conveniently located at little pickup spots from Burley all the way to Idaho Falls. They're not quite in Boise yet, Sara, but hopefully they'll be up there soon.
It will be, I'm sure. Everything's growing so fast.
That's right. They do a great job. So if you go to the Idaho Business Podcast .com and then click on their logo or name, you will see if you sign up, you get your first meal for free, and you also get a meal to give to whoever you want. That's the deal that they have just by using the promo code brought to you by within the podcast. So there you go, guys. Let's get back to Sara. Sara, Boise raised gal, went to school in Boise, and now she's had a vast array of professional experience. But she's been with Express Employment Professionals for the past 8 years as the account manager over there, and she has been the top sales rep, one of the top sales rep, 6 years out of the 8 years. So she is really hustling. She's moving up there, especially during this crazy market. So, Sara, did I get anything wrong?
No. It'll be 12 years in December, 8 years in December.
Very cool.
Goes fast.
Very cool.
Especially in staffing.
And now you're over the Boise, Idaho market, and now just recently the Las Vegas market.
Yeah.
Very cool. Sara, maybe let's start off with maybe if there's something, a little known fact or something interesting about yourself that no one knows.
Oh.
Or if not, if it,
well,
it was maybe the.
It's not that interesting, but I have 2 children, 14-year-old and a 12-year-old. They keep me super busy, and I think I've been to this might be kind of interesting, 12 different countries.
Wow.
Actually, it might even be more than that, because just in Europe there was probably 7, and then all sorts of Caribbean islands and things like that.
Very nice. I like to stay warm as well when I vacation. So beautiful. Okay.
I'm left-handed. There you go. That's the one.
Left-handed. You're southpaw. Yeah. Okay. Very cool. All right. Well, how did you get into the business of employment agencies and find yourself with Express?
I actually fell into it by accident, which I'm super grateful for, because of all the agencies that are in our market. I genuinely do feel like I'm part of the best one. I was a stay-at-home mom for 6 months, and I was driving myself crazy because I was cleaning every single day. And obviously when you're a stay-at-home mom, it gets dirty in the next 5 minutes. Yeah. So I got bored and put my resume out there and had a bunch of interviews scheduled real quick. And I interviewed with Doug for a temp position originally. And I actually had to stop the interview a little bit early. I was like, I'm so sorry, I'm late for another interview. And he was like, okay. And so then he called me before I got to my next interview and had offered me a position with Express. And I started out as the front office coordinator, where, people walk in, do payroll, time cards and invoicing and things like that. The first impression of the business. And then very quickly wanted to switch to interviewing, because I'd see candidates come in. And I interviewed a gentleman who came from a background in HR, and he was looking for a very professional position. He was top-notch candidate, And he was looking at me at the end of the interview and he was like, well, what jobs do you have for me? And I was like, oh man, I got to get out there and get the jobs for you. So that's when I really got passionate about doing specifically business development, getting out there and meeting the professionals.
I like it. Well, what's your favorite part of the business besides, I guess, business development, but I'm sure there's others?
My absolute favorite part is when you go to like a trade show or something and someone stops and like, oh my gosh, you're with Express. One of your recruiters got me a job and that got me another job. And then that got me another job and I'm promoted to this job. And so it's just really rewarding to see that what we do every single day is we help people, put food on the table for their families. And we match companies up with individuals that fit what they're looking for. So we're the advocate for them. So that's just seeing the joy in people's eyes when it works out is my favorite part.
I love it. Well, let's talk a little bit about what's going on right now in the country, within Idaho. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I've recently heard from the governor's department, that there's only 4,300 people on unemployment in Idaho.
I wouldn't be surprised. No, honestly.
And then I've heard, because that surprised me, and I'm like, I don't know this. I should know the population of Idaho, but I'm guessing it's in between. What do you know that off the top of your head? I know it's above 1 million, probably below 1.5.
Oh, I don't know. I don't want to get it wrong. It could be like 1.2. I'm not sure, but we're growing so rapidly. But you know what? I think our electoral votes is what kind of gave me the idea. We're a huge state. But we only get 4 electoral votes, and it's based on population. So that'll tell you we don't have a lot of people here.
Exactly.
Yes.
So 4,300, but still, that's not a lot of people, especially out of that big number that we have in our state.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of people think, oh, everyone's so lazy, they don't want to go to work. Well, okay, that's not the full story then, because then I've also heard a big majority of people took an early retirement during the COVID, pandemic.
Probably. Mm-hmm.
And then another big majority of people went from a 2-income household down to a 1-income household because probably the schools and children and things like that. That being the scenario that I've heard, what I'm thinking in my head, the solution's got to be some of this younger generation that's coming into the workforce. They've got a big opportunity.
Yes, they do. Yeah, everybody here has a big opportunity in Idaho.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a couple of other things that are mixing into those numbers is the fact that people who are retiring, some of them are retiring from out of state and they're moving here. Mm-hmm. So when they're moving here, they're taking up occupancy, but they're not in the position to not wanting to work anymore, or remote work has become, so people who are from California or Texas or wherever, they're moving here, but they're still have their same position from other locations.
Yeah.
And then we have so many businesses moving to the Valley as well. So if you combine that.
Yeah, I've got a buddy who works for Microsoft, lived in Washington, and is moving back to Southeast Idaho, where he grew up.
Yeah.
Working remotely still. So that's interesting. What are you seeing? Because let's start with the service industry businesses. Your hospitality, your restaurants, and just any kind of service trade that are really struggling to find people. Is there an answer that you're seeing to this problem, or?
Honestly, if I was gonna think up a big solution that could possibly work, the biggest thing I could think of is, because everybody's raising their wages right now. Mm-hmm. Everybody. So when I started 8 years ago, if I asked my the businesses, clients that I work with, to increase 50 cents for very entry level positions, it was make or break. No, we can't do that. A lot of them would, but a lot of them wouldn't as well. I have almost every single client calling me right now saying, I need to move this up $2-3 an hour. So, in the clients who are not willing to do that, unfortunately, they're still left behind. So I would say, unfortunately, all of our rents and mortgages and everything have gone up, doubled in the last year.
Yeah.
So the clients who are getting on the bandwagon of increasing the wages is definitely going to help. Yeah. But secondly, because the wages aren't going to keep people there, right? It's how you treat your employees, how you create value for them, caring about the little people. When I go into a client and they say, these are the people who are my bread and butter, these are the ones who make the magic happen. You ask them what they'd like. that's when we're in the good sweet spot. People stick around for that. But it's when it's like, those are the people, those are the little people over there. They just do the entry level jobs, then it really is make a huge difference when the people that are doing the hard jobs, and the entry level ones, they're the ones need to be valued.
Yes.
With incentives or just appreciation.
Exactly. Yeah, I can't say that enough. And I think it's hopefully helped these smaller service industry, especially, think of outside of the box of, okay, this is how we did the things the last 20 years is not going to cut the mustard anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. And you nailed the definition on the head. Is the adaptability piece is what we're seeing is the companies who are being more adaptable to all the changes. They're the ones that are still able to find people.
Exactly. And I would say too, I think everyone's scared of raising prices. Oh, we're going to lose customers if we raise prices. Everyone is in the same boat.
Yeah, unfortunately. Yeah.
Your milk is going up. Your fuel is going up. Everyone knows that price increases are inevitable. So don't be scared of that and know your numbers. And obviously that, the pay for your employees is not the only big thing. You can pay your people great. And I've seen companies out there that pay their people great and they still have problems finding people because they're horrible to their people.
Keeping them. Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
But what are maybe a few tips of maybe some creative tips of perks that you could offer as maybe a smaller trade, service?
I have a good one. I share this with all my clients. I'm glad you asked. There's a dealership in town that my son's dad worked for, where they would take 1% of your paycheck. So you don't even notice. Let's say your paycheck's $900 or something. They would take $9 of your paycheck and they'd put it into an account of your money that they put away all year long. And then at Thanksgiving, they give that back to you as a thank you bonus and they match it. So what I liked about that is because for people who, it does three things. First of all, I feel like it takes care of the bonus structure for the company, for companies who want to be able to provide a bonus, but don't really necessarily know how to do that. And then secondly, if you struggle saving money and then you find out that you've saved $300, $400, $500 that year and didn't even know you did it, that's it gives you some self-pride, right? So it makes you feel a little better. And the holidays are rough times. So if you come around the Thanksgiving time with something like that, we're thankful for you, you've saved up all this money and we're going to match it and give back to you guys what you provided yourself. Then that kind of takes the edge off of those holidays as well. So that's one.
I haven't heard of that one.
You haven't heard that one?
I haven't heard of that one.
I love that one so much. I think too, and this is sad to say, but just little things not count if your people are 1-2 minutes late on the job, being so strict about some of those little tiny small things, you can lose out on some really good people. Being more flexible on some of the backgrounds, because we have some people who are very good workers or have just had have done 1 or 2 things in their past that have been on the rough side, but they've changed themselves, and so being more open and not so in the box with what their requirements are. I have some companies that don't allow beards and piercings and tattoos, but that's kind of the new age, right? That's the next generation. So being more flexible to those kinds of things, I think is going to give them an advantage.
Yeah, especially especially the beard thing. You gotta.
Oh yeah, it happens overnight.
Everyone does that, But yeah, that's the thing. We live in a very conservative state of Idaho, and we're and some of us get scared of the tattoos and all that kind of stuff. But you gotta remember, in other cities, that's the norm, and people have face tattoos. They have all sorts of stuff, and that doesn't make them bad people. It just just gotta realize, hey, there's all different walks of life out there, and they all have something excellent to add to my company if I give them a chance. So obviously,
what though?
Go ahead.
Something else I was thinking of is my girlfriend was just talking about how her boss had handpicked a couple of things that she was going to do for her for the holiday season, or to increase her incentives. And what she told me, she's it was really nice of her to do that, but what she picked wasn't what I would have chosen.
Interesting.
So versus asking your people what's important to them, because you may go out there and get a whole retirement plan set up, and then everybody in the company doesn't really care about it. Or health benefits, or maybe having like an a la carte kind of style, like having a sheet that says check 3 boxes of like what's most important to you, and basing your incentives around what they'd like to see.
Exactly. I like that. And there's so many more creative ideas too out there. Like, hey, you could probably go to a local gym and say, hey, what if I offered all my employees a gym membership? What kind of deal could you give me? Like, there's stuff like that. Like, everyone likes to see little benefits and perks. And even though there's small companies out there and they're like, oh my gosh, I can't afford, number one, I'm so small, I don't have full benefits for my company, for my employees and stuff like that. There's still small things you can do out there. One of my guests in the past on this show was from a company with Allstate benefits, and that's what we provide. But it's like accidental and some wellness insurance, and they just reimburse you with cash when stuff happens, and it's super cheap, and it's something you can offer. So there's so many things out there. So don't be closed-minded. I don't have the money in my company to do any of this kind of stuff. You can. There's small stuff you can do to show you.
Absolutely.
So, no, I agree. And it's even the small stuff of even going out and just thanking your team. Hand them a $10 gift card to Amazon or McDonald's or Starbucks. Just small stuff like that. It just helps them feel like, man, he took or she took their time out of their day to think of me and get this and hand it to me and just say thank you. It doesn't have to be anything. You just got to spread that love a little bit more, I feel like. So
a thank you goes a long way.
It does.
Absolutely.
It does. Well, cool. Let's move on to our lightning round real quick as we come to a conclusion here. As always, though, our lightning round is sponsored by Sensations. Again, they're not in Boise. Sorry, Sarah. But they're in.
Everything's online.
I know. You can't get a tan online. This is what these guys do.
Oh, okay. Sensations.
Sensations. They're in Twin Falls and Pocatello, right by Gold's Gym, and they provide all your tanning needs, all your wellness treatment needs, your red light therapy needs, your mani-pedi, all that stuff to get you ready for a good vacation or make you feel good throughout the holidays as well. If you go onto the website, the IdahoBusinessPodcast.com, click on their logo or name, you'll see that you'll get your first tanning for free if you just mentioned that you heard about them on our podcast. So there you go. Again, another sweet deal. All you have to do is mention the podcast. So, lightning round. Sarah, what is the best, maybe your best book or tool or software you've used in the last, however long, that's kind of been a game changer for you?
Well, my book, the book that I like to read is Awareness. Okay. I don't know who it's by, but I listened to it on Audible.
Okay.
It is phenomenal. It's just about, stepping outside of yourself and unfortunately saying it like you're not as important as you think you are. Just calm down. Or you're not a dictator, you got to let people do what they want to do. Love that book. And then I'm a big podcaster, so I will mention, like I told you earlier, love Tim Ferriss podcast. So those are some of the things that I've been doing to take myself to the next level. And
I love it.
Tools and
that's great. Okay, awareness. I'll keep that in mind for sure. So awesome. What is what's one of the biggest myths you feel like business owners need to know the truth about?
As far as staffing goes?
Yeah.
I think personally, from experience of talking to clients, is them thinking that if they work with us, they have to do it our way. Because we help them do it their way. So, let's express. I know that for a fact. When we talk to clients, a lot of times they're like, "Will you tell me how you guys work? Like, what do we have to do to fit within your box?" We're more of like, well, let me find out more about your business, your parameters, your guys' preferences, what's important to you, and then we can customize it. So I think that's probably the only thing that would be shying companies away from utilizing us, because every single resource on the table right now is important for employers to be utilizing. So why definitely not have a temp agency in your back pocket?
Sure.
And probably secondly, that we don't cost a thing until you actually have a candidate there. So you can see candidates through us, you can order people through us, you can look at resumes, you can do interviews, and if you don't pick anybody, you never pay a cent. So that's some of the things that my clients, sometimes ask questions about. Is it very cut and dry on the pricing? Is it very, we have to pay up front? None of that.
Okay. Well, follow up to that answer. Are there people available right now? Are you having people?
There are.
Okay.
There are. And I think it goes back to like what we were talking about earlier is how you're setting yourself apart to get like return applicants and things. I have a recruiter here who's been here for 15 years, and I have associates that have been coming to her for 10 plus years, probably all 15 years. They'll work for their company for 3-5 years, come back to her and like, you helped me out last time, I want to work with you again. So just, it just roots back to like being a human and
Sure.
being kind. But yeah, there's definitely people out there. It's just what you're going to do to get them and keep them.
Okay.
They are harder to find them. I'll tell you, the board we have out here, we do have our work orders. It went from 1 board to 3 boards. So like overnight.
So if you're someone out there that needs a job and you're listening to this, you got jobs out there. You got
man, so many options.
Okay. I like it. All right. What is one question I should have asked that I didn't?
I would say why work with a staffing company?
Okay.
Right? On both sides.
Yeah.
From the associate standpoint, it's kind of like your one-stop shop for all different clients. You're interviewing with one recruiter and you're actually interviewing with like thousands of companies when you interview with that one recruiter.
That's nice.
And then on the client side, it's repeat the question.
Just the question that I didn't ask, but it was,
yes, that just that clients just should be willing to take a look at all different resources right now.
That's true. I like it. That's everyone's just got to be creative, thinking outside the box, and just really dive in, because it's a tough landscape out there. And I don't see it lasting forever. We're eventually going to level out again, hopefully.
Yeah.
But we just got to, tough it out a little bit and be creative in the meantime and find things to get you through and keep your spirits up. That's the big thing,
Absolutely.
I talk to too many people that are like, oh my gosh, this is so annoying and people don't want to work and I can't find people. And okay, if you think that way and you act that way, you're going to attract more of that.
Oh, yes. Yeah, absolutely. And that's what I was going to say. Why work with a staffing company on the client side is that we can be that middle person that talks their company up. We can be an advocate for that company. So like, let's just say the company's been in the Valley for 30 plus years and you grew up hearing that it wasn't that great of a company or something, but you've rebranded your entire company. Things have changed. Your reputation's changed. So now it's not just me being like, hey, I'm a great company. Come work for me. It's someone else saying, this is a great company. Out of all the companies we have on our board, we would recommend this company and here's why. So we're like that middleman, we're that advocate for that client on their end as well.
I like it. That's great. Well, if people are listening right now and they're like, man, Sara knows her stuff, she'd be great to work with, how would they get a hold of you to start, that relationship?
They can call me, text me, email me. You just look up Express Employment. My email address is just Sara.Barnowski@ExpressPros. Do you want me to spell that?
Sure.
Is it going to be in your podcast notes?
In the podcast, yeah. Well, yeah. We put in the notes. We might as well spell it just for people listening.
SARA, so no H, .Barnowski, and that's just 3 words, Barnowski, so BARNOWSKI @ Express, EXPRESSPROS.com.
I love it. Perfect. Well, thanks for being on the show with us, Sara.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah. And then, as always, people, stay away from those negative Nancys. Sara and I have talked about, stay positive.
Yeah, absolutely.
That what you're going through right now is not going to last forever. Be understanding with those other companies you go and you have to wait a little longer for your burger. Just be understanding. Be a human being. And
throw Halloween parties for your company.
Exactly.
That's what we did. That's why I'm in my. I have to mention it. That's why I'm in my little suit thing right now, because we're doing a Halloween costume party today.
Yeah.
So
there you go. That's
I'm the Looney Tune in the office.
That's nice. Yeah, and just embrace, have fun, and just enjoy the ride. That's what it's all about. So, Thanks again, Sara, and
thanks, Spencer.
Everyone else, in the meantime, enjoy your weekend, enjoy your upcoming week, and set goals for yourself, and have that attitude of gratitude. And we'll see y'all later.
Congratulations on spending a couple of minutes getting a little bit smarter, having some fun, and supporting the Idaho business community. If you're feeling the love, make sure to subscribe, rate, and review on iTunes, Stitcher, or wherever you are.